Hi, I'm Pedro Plasencia with Country Real Estate in California's beautiful Central Coast. Today we're in South Monterey County in the Lockwood Valley for a tour of this beautiful 40-acre parcel. Let's go have a look. Access to the property is via this short stretch of unpaved private road, and it gets us right to this corner here of Martinez Road, right at this beautiful majestic oak. We could almost say the property is divided up, not parcel-wise, but divided up into different areas or zones. This is an open meadow that I estimate to be about 3 3/4, maybe 4 acres or so. And this is where we'll find the well. It's a private well. The shape of this parcel is quite unusual, but it creates a really good character to the property and different pockets of usable areas, vegetated areas, lots of large oak trees, and quite a bit of usable land. Although the property is located on the very southern edge of the foothills here in the valley, the well does still tap into the Lockwood Valley groundwater basin. The property is partially fenced, including barbed wire fencing. Some areas have wood board fencing, access gates, and the fencing is configured in a way that it helps with that separation of these various zones of the property. These different zones, from open meadows that are farmable to the oak studded little foothills here, and even the areas kind of back there in the background with more thick brush, it create great habitat for local wildlife. One of the really fun and impressive features here are the multiple campsites. There's 5 campsites that have been developed. Each of them are fairly private and separate with some shade trees, like this one. Got a fire pit there. And out of the 5, 2 of them have water near them, or at the campsites. So this one, you can see a hose bib there. There is no septic or sanitary system of any type, except the owners here have, over the years, obtained a few porta potties, and that's what they've used. So this would be a really cool family getaway where you have various campsites nicely spaced out for privacy, but not too far apart from each other. You can see the next one right down there. They each have their own little bit of character. So the other one, the first one we looked at under an oak, this one makes me feel like we're in on some tropical island. So you still have a good shade here for the warmer summer months. And there is lots of wildlife here. I just saw some deer run from behind that tree that direction. We'll see if we see them pop out. The various spots and campsites even have names. So we're headed back to the South 40 over to Hideaway Oaks. So 2 of the campsites that have water to them, and there's one that has water near the campsite. The system itself and any water troughs on the property provide water for wildlife or livestock are gravity fed off of this 5,000-gallon water tank that's elevated for good pressure. One of these roads is an access easement for properties beyond this property up in the hills there north of Lockwood, but it still provides good separation, good access to other parts of the property, including this other open meadow that's about almost 10 acres, 9 to 10 acres. So as I walk around, I've counted maybe 5 or 6 potential building sites. So if you wanted to build a home on the property, there's some great sites. Some of them are elevated with great views of the valley, which is what you see behind me. There's power to various potential building sites. So also behind me, you'll see the PG&E power poles, and they cross the property kind of in a diagonal from the southeast part of the property to the northwest of the property at different sites and locations. You still need a meter drop, but the power's here. So that takes care of a big expense and a big potential hassle. Here's a spot where a few roads come together onto this ridgeline road. You can see power in the background there. And then we drop into the other little valley. Another really nice feature of the properties here in this location is the roads are kind of rocky. What you can see here is more of a fractured rock, so they stay in pretty good shape through the winters. For the nature lover, there's lots of cool spots to explore. And in a sense, you feel you're in the middle of nowhere, but you are in the community with some neighbors. And not very far from town, a short drive, 35 minutes to Paso to the south, maybe 30 minutes or so to King City to the north. This one here, not counted in the 5 camps, but this camp is a special one. Set up for the shooting enthusiast. Tucked away in its own little pocket of the property, you have a private hobby shooting range that includes a shoot house and even a picnic or lounge area. Just a little bit of elbow grease will get this going real quick. Rabbit. Cottontail rabbit. One of the many favorite features of the property you can't forget is this amazing oak tree that greets us as we come onto the corner of the property. As we're walking the property, I'll tell you a little bit more. The pastures on the property, there are 2 pastures. Maybe we can even look at them as 3. There's the upper pasture, about 9 to 10 acres. That's on the northeast side of the property. And then there's the south pasture, which could be kind of split a little bit by the saddle behind me there. We have the west part of the south pasture behind me. And then as we continue over this little hump, you have the east side of the south pasture. Altogether, between the west and east side of the south pasture, you're looking at about 3.5 to maybe 4 acres. Zoning on this parcel is permanent grazing. So in South Monterey County, permanent grazing means, it's very similar to rural grazing, but permanent grazing means it allows for obviously grazing livestock, and it also allows for some farming and even residential uses. It would also include recreational uses. So for anybody that wants to enjoy the outdoors, come and ride, horseback or any other kind of riding, hunting. This is a great area for hunting, given all the wild pigs that predominantly live in the hills north of Lockwood, but come down from the hills often. Deer, some turkey, quail, and dove. If you'd like to learn more about this property and others like it on the Central Coast in San Luis Obispo County or South Monterey County, be sure to reach out to me. I'd love to help.